Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about the housing crisis in the US and how it's hurting millions of Americans every day. So the high costs are driving homeowners and renters to extreme measures. Skipping meals and delaying medical treatments is some of the things people are doing to make ends meet and to make their rent and their housing payments. Now you personally might be feeling this pressure too. With the high interest rates making mortgages unaffordable and then the rent prices soaring in many cities, people are just suffering right now. Now, this situation has been building up for years due to the combination of low inventory and rising costs. Many homeowners with low interest mortgages are going to not sell their properties and they're not looking to sell them. This is further tightening the market. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm one of those people. I do have a low interest rate on my current personal home, and I'm definitely not going to sell anytime soon. The low home inventory means homelessness is on the rise, especially in places like Sacramento and Austin, Texas. Now, policymakers have proposed solutions, but I'm going to be honest with you, most of the government solutions are terrible and they usually waste our tax dollars. I'm just being straightforward with you. Now, if you stay to the end, I'm going to go into how you can, as a real estate investor, help alleviate some of this housing pain that's going on in the U.S. All right, next, let's discuss the challenges that many people are having paying for the housing and for their rent. Half of the U.S. homeowners and renters say they often struggle to make their payments. So in many cases, a big portion of their income is going towards housing. So if a large portion of their money has to go towards, the rent or the mortgage payment, it's going to leave most people financially strained. So this is going to make it difficult for many of people to afford food and other necessities that they need to survive. Now, people are having to make tough choices to afford a home. Skyrocketing housing costs and rents are just forcing many into impossible situations. A significant portion, over 20%, is being squeezed between, affording rent and putting food on the table. Now, this often leads to painful decisions. Now, we mentioned this earlier. A lot of people, they're just going to go hungry, or they're going to go ask loved ones for money, or they're even delaying medical care that they really need to help with their life. So high mortgage and rent costs is just creating a disaster. The cost of getting a mortgage has gone up a lot in the past year. In some areas, rent prices are even higher. This has created a huge challenge for both the buyer and renters. High rates and low inventory are just making it tough for many people to find affordable housing or rental apartments. Now, here are some of the hidden causes of this housing crisis that we're having right now. Number one, there's just an inventory shortage. The number of available homes for sale or rent in the United States is far below what is needed. So there's a limited supply of properties, and that means there are fewer homes for people to buy and rent. Now, this shortage has been building for years, leaving millions of areas underserved. High interest rates make it less appealing for people to sell, adding to the problem. Now, number two on our list is homeownership lock-in effect. Talked about this a little bit about my home. People who bought or refinanced their homes before this inflation jacked up the interest rates are currently enjoying very low interest rates. I currently do enjoy really low interest rates, when I got my loan 13 years ago. So these homeowners like myself are now locked in. And because selling their home would mean losing their low, interest rate, they're not going to do it. This results in fewer homes being put on the market, making it tough for new buyers to find affordable homes. Now, number three, we have rising building costs. So the cost of building new homes has just gone up significantly. Prices for materials like lumber and labor have just increased beyond belief. The high interest rates also mean that those loans for the construction are really expensive. Now, because of this, builders are hesitant to start new projects. The fearing that the sale price of the new homes won't cover the costs, so this reluctance makes the inventory crisis even worse. Okay, now let's discuss the economic and then social impact of all this. The first major issue is going to be the rise of homelessness. So, due to high housing costs, many people are finding themselves without a home. Nearly half of homeowners and renters in the U.S. are struggling to keep up with their rental payments and their mortgage payments. Cities with skyrocketing rents mean those cities are going to have more homeless people. These are cities like Sacramento, Fresno, Phoenix, and Austin have seen huge increases in rent. Now, Sacramento, for instance, had a 47% rise in median rent between 2017 and 2022. Meanwhile, homelessness in the city increased by 144%. That is crazy. Now, the high interest rates and low inventory make it really tough for people to afford homes, and this leads to many into becoming homeless. Even government programs aren't enough to handle the crisis. So, what is the government doing? Well, first thing you have is President Biden's tax proposals, okay? President Biden's proposed tax credits aim to improve housing affordability. Now, these credits are supposed to help lower the burden for those struggling to make housing payments. Yet critics argue that these incentives might fall short. They believe that merely providing tax credits doesn't touch on the deep-rooted issues that's causing the current housing crisis. I agree 100%. We got to tackle what is the major cause of this housing crisis. Now, the second thing we have is the Green Housing New Agenda. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Green Housing New Agenda, it offers another plan. It includes grants and fundings to support more sustainable living spaces. So basically, government housing, which we all know is not good. So when the government gets into anything, it becomes a money pit and usually does not work well. So I'm not for the government stepping in to try to help with this stuff. They usually do a horrible job. So if you can, check out this video we have. And it talks about the now law mandatory property upgrades that are beginning this year. Now, you also have many critics who feel that the Greenhouse New Agenda support for undocumented immigrants could lead to further strain on the already limited housing resources. Okay, so next up, the role of the government in housing. So there are programs out there currently that help. One of them is Section 8, and then there's other HUD programs. Now, Section 8 helps low-income families pay for their housing. This has been around for a long time. Now, this program gives vouchers to cover part of the rent, allowing families to live in better neighborhoods than they could afford on their own. Now, while Section 8 helps many, it only reaches a really small portion of the population that needs assistance. Even with these programs, the overall housing crisis remains unsolved because the root issues like high costs and lack of available homes still remains. Now, these programs help, but they aren't enough to fix the larger problems in the housing market. Now, let's talk about the investment perspective if you're an investor. So here we go. Up next, real estate investment opportunities. If you're looking for opportunities and looking to invest, this may be for you. So the U.S. housing crisis is really a pressing concern, right? With many Americans struggling to meet those housing payments, the high cost of living coupled with low inventory and skyrocketing mortgage rates have just made it, challenging for both renters and buyers. Now, this environment, though difficult, does present a unique opportunity for real estate investors. So investing in affordable housing can offer long-term stable income due to the increased demand for rental properties for any investors out there. Now, first up, you can do the build-to-rent property kind of investment. This is the first kind of thing you can do. So the build-to-rent model is really gaining popularity now, particularly single-family rentals. So this approach provides several benefits, including lower risk, compared to flipping houses, better control, and higher returns than real estate investment trust rates. Now, what you want to do is work with a company that specializes in build-to-rent properties and can offer additional advantages, like discounted pricing, seller incentives, and an excellent customer service. So that's what you want to look for when you're looking for one of these. Now, you can secure properties in growth markets with good internal rates of return, tax benefits, and positive cash flow when you do this. Now, this is just one way to make money in real estate, and we've got some others. The second one is you can go out and buy apartments or houses that need to be fixed and get them back up and running. There are many properties that are vacant or managed poorly and not fully occupied that you can find, buy these properties, fix them up, and get them back up to speed with full market value and fully rented out. Now, if you invest currently, you're probably already doing this, but that's just one thing you can do. Now, if you want to learn how to buy homes and to rent out, you can check out our training that will be coming up here soon. We're going to have that on our site. You can check out the descriptions, and we will have that for you. So if you don't know what you're doing, this course can help you get started. So let's check out the impact of adding more housing. So building more homes can help keep housing prices down. By increasing the supply, the cost of housing can become more manageable for everyone. Now, this strategy can also reduce homelessness, as high housing costs are a main reason many people end up without a home. Now, research shows that allowing more construction, whether the houses are subsidized or not, can ease the housing crisis. So hopefully cities open up more construction permits to allow the building of more homes and apartments. Okay, then you have the benefits of housing vouchers. So accepting housing vouchers like Section 8 can be a smart move for real estate investors because it guarantees that you will receive rent payments from the government, which adds a stable income stream for you as the investor. Plus, be honest, you're going to provide a quality home for somebody who really needs it. And this can be an excellent way to ensure your property stays occupied and your income remains steady. We just finished one of our homes. We had to update it, and we got a family in that really desperately needed a home. So really makes you feel good. Hope you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe for more videos on wealth building, real estate investing, and making money. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.